So it seems to be the day and the time and the week to attack Boris and those people in the Conservative Party in Downing Street who were drinking. That seems reasonable, but it shouldn't stop there. We need to also look at all those fixed penalty fines which are imposed by the police, often unlawfully imposed. They were egged on in their severity by our Home Secretary, Priti Patel, she of the Dalek-like attitude. Fine, fix fine. Probably because she, as a Dalek, it has a sort of fixed identity anyway. You know, you can't really imagine a Dalek skimmying down the road, can you? Or skimmying or shimmying. You can't really imagine this. The Daleks have fixed mentalities, fixed approaches, and a little gun at the front. Poor Priti Patel. Exterminate! Or plagiarise. Anyway, now there are various outs for Boris. On the one hand, Sue Gray may exonerate him. I think we've gone beyond that point. On the other hand, it may be possible to defend the rule breaking by saying that under the 1984 Crown Property Act, Downing Street is Crown property, and the law doesn't necessarily apply to Crown property unless Number 10 volunteered to be bound by that law. And it's unlikely that Number 10 actually found the time to submit the paperwork to be bound by that law. So it is likely that, in fact, what happened in Number 10 was actually literally and legally not illegal. But it's not a very good defence when we look across the road and we see the Queen, the ultimate Crown property, obeying the law to the letter and sitting on her own at her husband's funeral. I think not only should Sue Gray or the various people who are investigating this, not only should they be looking at Boris, but they should also look around at, for example, Priti Patel and question her zealotry. When and how much did she know about these parties that were going on? Because if she knew, then her zealotry makes no sense at all. Again, I think it's much more. It's much more the question of them and us when we look at Priti Patel. There's another way Boris might survive, at least for now. If Boris were to go now, whoever inherited the job would inherit the May election results, the county council election results, and these will be poisonous. There isn't time for these to improve now. So they are going to be appalling. And maybe the Conservatives may be thinking that all this should be shouldered by Bojo. You just get everything onto his shoulders and then get rid of him, and he can go like all the problems go on to Brexit or go on to solving the Brexit. Now all the problems are going to go on to Boris. Now you may say, why were the newspapers so slow to finger the people in the in Number 10 for all this rule breaking? Well, because they were rule breaking as well. I have to pick up Bay because he's being very needy at the moment. I came back late last night and he hasn't really left my side. There we are. And but there's not just the newspapers, not just the media who presumably were breaking rules, and therefore they don't want to blow the whistle too strongly because people might start looking at what they're doing. It's also Sir Keir Starmer, Sir Keir himself, that champion of oratory, who did so well at the dispatch box the other day. Photographs have now emerged of Sir Keir having a party or attending a party, not outdoors, as Boris apparently did, but indoors, which is worse. attending a party indoors in Durham in May, just before the Hartlepool by-election. There may be a good explanation, but I think while people are looking at Boris's failures to keep these rules, they should also be looking at the failures, apparently, of the leader of the opposition. I think the problem is the them and us is not the Conservative Party or Boris and us, it's everyone in power and us. And power, as we know, corrupts. Bay doesn't have power, so Bay is incorruptible. And he's just very, very noisy. Very noisy. If Boris had Bay around to the house, I'm sure Boris would be checked significantly. Bay makes you wake up in the middle of the night and question what you're dreaming about. You know. Anyway, look, please follow the channel, ring the bell. If you can't ring the bell, you need to make a screaming noise like Bay. There we are. He's not going to do it now because he knows he's being looked at. Have fun.